What's up, guys? It's Charles here with Rocket Punch Army to do another review, and today we have the Dynaction multi-purpose humanoid decisive weapon Evangelion Test Type-01. Very excited about this because number one, I didn't expect the box to be so gigantic, and number two, yeah, it actually is a big figure, which made it even more exciting. Let me try and fit this box here. It's very hard to show you this. As a matter of fact, you can even see my lighting. It's a very big box. I'll give you exact measurements using my trusty IKEA ruler. Don't lie, you guys always steal these from IKEA also. But we got, let's see, we'll start at 0 right here. The box is exactly 18.5 inches tall. And wide we have 13.5. Anyway, so we saw the front of the box. Just pan up again here. It's got a nice, beautiful picture of the Type-01. And if we open this, it's actually got a flat front. And then we are greeted with the figure in a plastic case. And if we move over to the inner box, not an email, you'll see there's some graphics here, which shows you the joints. Wish there was a better way to show you guys this, but this will have to do for now. But I don't know what they're trying to do here. I guess, well, what they're trying to do is show you the joints. I thought maybe it had to do with showing you die cast, which it actually may be, because there's blue and then there's red. And I believe the parts that are red may be die cast. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they are. But if you can see, that is a good amount, and we'll just confirm later. But you can see there's a good amount of die cast if that's true. Mostly in the frame and some on the outside. And it's got the articulation pictures here on the sides, all the way down. Almost forgot to show you the back of the box. So it's got a lot of nice photography, as is the case with most Bandai releases. We scroll down, shows you all the accessories down here, and of course the figure in the box. So we're going to pop this thing out, and again, not expecting it to have been that big. I think it even said it was like 15.5 inches or something, but just, you know, getting it in hand, you really get the sense of how big it is. So let's get this guy out of here and check it out. Alright, so once we get in there, we got the little instruction booklet. It's very thin, but it looks like it is full color. In the back, it shows you how to set up the stand. And yes, I am going to comment about the stand, but I will say that this time I'm going to show you guys the stand, even though I don't like them, because I think they just look better on huge figures. And on top of that, these are the accessories that he comes with. He does come with a spare forehead fin, whatever this is called. And these are the open hands, the action hands, and they're very nicely sculpted. They're actually flexible PVC. You can see very nice sculpts there. We got the weapon hands, the trigger finger hands, or the knife holding hands, if you want to call them that. They'll do both, I guess. Okay, also nicely sculpted. Very human-like. And what I like to call the karate chop hands with the knuckles. What's cool is it actually looks like gloves. So it's very organic looking. And then the fists. Okay, these aren't your typical robot fists with the little segments. These are very humanoid looking hands. And then of course you get this little tiny figure, which I don't even know which way it's facing. It's just ridiculously minuscule, very easy to lose. As a matter of fact, when I popped open the clamshell, this thing went, like, don't even know where it went. I just saw a little black thing fly. So just be careful, this is included there. It almost looks like a little screw, but it's actually a little figure. So we are going to take advantage of the macro lens here. So you can see, I just got to get it perfectly focused. It's a little Shinji Ikari figure. Look at my fingerprints. That's how tiny this thing is. And look how, like, molded that is. How welly molded. What's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying. For something so small, this is absolutely amazing that they could sculpt something like this and also mold it to have that much detail. Alright, so let's concentrate on this bad boy. Excuse me, girl. It is astonishing, I gotta say. You know me, I'm a die-cast collector, but I can appreciate some well-articulated plastic toys, which this falls under. It's plastic, I can say that. But it's beautifully done. I don't think there's any crazy paint apps like the yellow here, the green, maybe on the knuckles here, the silver, the tempo printing on the arm, but other than that, it's molded in the colors that it comes in, with a couple of exceptions, obviously, which gives it a nice satin finish. I mean, this thing is absolutely stunning, as I've said so a couple of times already. Let you look up here. You'll see that little squiggly plastic thing there. That's just a protective thing. I'll take off in a little bit, but just take a look at the rest of the figure. It's just really, really cool. Now, having said that and looking at this figure, I don't know if it's an elephant in the room to anybody who collects some of these figures, but why is this 190? I thought it was 160. I thought I had ordered it for 160, but it is 190. How is this $190? And that metal build that I reviewed costs like $249, $250. How? This has what? Because it has no like paint like the other one. Because this is just ridiculous. How tall and how much plastic and how much die cast you get? Because you actually do get die cast. The die cast that I was able to find is the red parts that you see on the box. And since there's a lot of heat here right now, it's kind of hard for me to tell. But the bottom of the feet, I remember I found that they were metal. I also found that these spine pieces were metal, and I believe the chest pieces. So pretty much all the red pieces that you saw in the beginning are die cast. So, I mean, it does have metal in it, and I would think, you know, if you were to melt everything down, it's more metal than the metal build. And there's lots of segments. It's not even for the lack of like articulation or anything or pieces. This does have a lot of pieces. So I'd like to know what makes this cheaper and a much better value, in my opinion, than a little tiny metal build. I would say that one of the negatives is that you can't open the port here to put in like the little pill with the pilot. So that's like a little bit of a downside. It wouldn't be something I would play with anyway, but it would be nice to see. But again, if they have to do any cost cutting, this is definitely a place to do it. Well, maybe not definitely, but... And then of course, something like this. This is the shoulder fin, and they have one that you have to replace that's already open. So, you know, this would, for the size, you would think they could hinge it, but again, probably a cost cutting thing, but they did not cut costs on really anything else on this figure because it is absolutely stunning. We're going to get into articulation in just a moment, which you're going to see is amazing for a figure of this price and size. So we're going to start out with the top first. Obviously the head, everybody starts with the head. You'll see it does have a neck. You'll see the neck joint moving. But check this out right here where this splits. Look when it looks down. I should have taken that plastic off. Look at that. It separates. Right there. I actually only just noticed that now. And you see the ball joint for the head. Can I take this off without ripping anything? Or let's see. Yeah, there. I'll take it off. You'll see the ball joint right there. And obviously the head moves around on that joint. The neck joint, very articulated. You got the chin. You'll notice the teeth are still clenched, but if you push it down a little bit more, they open. So this piece is separate from those teeth. That is great. All right, move to the shoulders. You got the fins that move. You have back and forth on the arm. Obviously the arms go out. It's not so much a ball joint. I don't think the top is really a, yeah, it kind of looks like a ball there, but it's not a ball joint per se, just like a swivel, a round swivel. Then you got that. Do the arms go up and down? Yes, they do. They go up and down, so a lot of movement there. Obviously they'll spin around. You got the elbow, which gives a good amount of articulation. You have the upper body here. You get this section of this segment. You also get the bottom. Obviously that's the waist movement. There's not a lot of waist movement. You can kind of curve it this way, and you're already banging up a lot of the plastic parts there, but no paint, so that's good. We'll see how this looks when you bring it back, and it goes forward a good amount. That's really cool. I'm just trying to be careful here not to scratch anything, although it is the same color plastic, but it is a nice satiny finish. And then we get to the legs. The legs, I'm trying to see if there's metal in there. There's supposed to be metal. I can feel metal down here. It's very heavy down here, which is good because it keeps you know, the figure standing well. You can see that there's weight on the lower leg, but I feel like in here it just feels heavy. It might just be solid plastic, but obviously the legs go forward and there's a little bit of movement this way, but then you got the knees, which are double jointed, and there's a lot of poses like this, so it definitely has to have that movement there. As far as thighs, they do spin right here like that. The hips also have this movement right in there, you see that? And I showed you the knees already. This piece moves also. This little armor piece moves, ankles back and forth, up and down, and the toe. The elbows, they do swivel. You got the hand also on a swivel. You can turn the swivel wherever you want, just, you know, depending on the pose you want to create. Gone ahead and attached one of the alternate hands with a knife, just so I can show you this awesome pose I did, even though I'm not a big fan of posing my figures, but just so you can see how well this thing articulates. There's no help on this, like with the aid of a stand or anything. It's literally just standing on its tiptoe on the left foot and then like just a full foot on the right. Here we can see from the front what that looks like. I mean, due to the size, it's kind of hard to show you any other kind of poses. It just takes up the entire review area. You just picture him just jumping like that. I've also gone ahead and attached the weapon hand on the left hand here, and you can see it's just a simple kind of ball joint with little detents, or not detents, but like little things there, I guess. I don't know what that's called, but we'll pop that in. Again, I'd have to pan to be able to show you everything. There we go. Just give you an idea what he looks like with those hands. And here are the open action hands. And here I've gone ahead and put the alternate fin here so you can see him taking the knife out. So it kind of recreates him pulling the knife out. It's kind of hard to do. It's articulated enough, but I can't do exactly what they did on the box. They probably had to take some panels off. I don't know what kind of magic they do, but that does show you that this knife does swivel. And if you're wondering how that pops on there, it's just a ball joint. You just pop it back and then put the other one in. Alright guys, I think this is the first time I've actually shown a stand on its own here. But it's actually in half, right? So it's got these two clips here, and if you take the two clips, you just twist it to pull out, and it becomes separate stands. Two little separate stands, I guess. I decided to keep it together, and I just attached this arm here. It almost looks like a computer-aided or rendered drawing, you know, like when they have all those lines, which is kind of cool. It is an adjustable arm, right? So you just adjust it where you need it. I'm going to keep him standing up, or her standing up, sorry. So once you adjust it, you can just clip this little thing in. It's supposed to go in with the teeth. There you go. Alright, and if we move up, we also get the little clamping hand kind of thing. Okay, and also this right here, which is ratcheted. Don't try to ratchet that. This, you can see it doesn't move. There's a little pin. Just push it and you can move it up and down. Just find the little tooth where it's straight, or wherever it is that you're going to put it, and use that. Next, we'll check out the power cable, or the umbilical cord, however you want to call it. It's a really long piece of rubber. I would say it's 3 feet long, or like a little over 90 centimeters, so pretty big. So you can actually attach this to one of the round things on the stand there, and then put the umbilical cord in the figure. So let's check that out, the final look of it. Found some more additional articulation points on the stand. You can actually pull this out to go a little bit higher, and there's also pins on the clamp parts. So you can see the umbilical cord just plugs right in, and then the rest of it comes down here. Alright guys, and this is the final product here. So in closing, wow, I don't know. After buying that metal build, and I was like so-so with the Evangelion figures, this totally blows me away, and is definitely something I'm going to keep collecting if they release the other units. There's absolutely like no reason that this should cost less, but I'm glad it does. That makes it much easier to collect the rest. Having said that, if you want to grab your own, there's a link in the description below. If you're going to get one, please use that. It helps the channel. Speaking of helping the channel, please like, share, put the notifications on, all that cool stuff that really helps out this channel for me to bring out these reviews. I wanted to thank my Patreon supporters once again, or every time. for everything that they do. And then just for fun, just a little scale comparison to MP44. Completely dwarfs him. Anyway, that's it guys. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below as usual. Until next time, bye bye.